This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and here we go again. We have up the Masters of the Universe Origins Snake Lair playset 2.0. The one that actually looks like the thing we voted for and not the cluster that the other one was. So how does this one compare? Let's take a look. We'll take a bit closer look at the images later. I had to open those up in new windows because for whatever genius reason, you don't get the pictures to pop up full size on here. Like, you can't click the picture and have it go full screen so you can see it. So, here we go. If you back it within the first 2 weeks, because this opens up on the 1st of August, you get the Skeletal Lady Slither, which, by the way, is actually pretty cool looking, but we'll take a better look at that in a bit. So, the unlock is 6,000 backers. I think this one has a pretty good chance of making that. Unlock 2, the Priest Pythoness Origins figure, which is that weird Egyptian looking dude who actually has a human form too, apparently. And unlock number 3 is Lady Slither's two-headed serpentine steam chimera. That thing's actually pretty cool looking, straight out, gonna say. The Masters of the Universe Snake Lair is the fortress of Lady Slither and home base for the Snakemen. It was first featured in the Classics mini-comic number 5, He-Man vs. Skeletor, their final battle. But it was never created in toy form. Now you have the chance to bring it to life properly. The MOTU community voted on Turdia's choice, and we've incorporated fan feedback to shape the design. Yeah, because everybody complained about your previous one that didn't look anything like it. It'll feature a throne room for Lady Slither, with her serpentine design exactly to her liking. Unwelcome visitors will be greeted by blasters, snatched up in capture devices, and placed into the Iron Maiden or Snake Shackles. This is your one and only chance to get this set, fund all tiers, and restore Lady Slither's stronghold to its Preternian glory. The playset is just over 2 feet wide and 16 inches long and 30 inches tall. Scaled for play and display with MOTU Origins figures. Also in scale with Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. 4 levels across 2 sections, sculpted with slithery details. Use of the snake staff to unlock the working drawbridge. Was our snake staff included? From the throne room, Lady Slither can plan her next escapades. Harpoon blaster can be positioned throughout the lair. Telescoping snakehead pivots and fires projectiles. It includes weapons rack for snakemen to defend the fortress. Features working elevator, extending snakehead periscope. We just said that. And a zip line. Also includes ladder capture device and an Iron Maiden. The Iron Maiden's kind of cool too. Escape the snake-guarded hatchery through the secret passageway. Hatchery? Premium reinforced closed box packaging for shipping protection. We'll see about that. Each tier unlock comes with its own individual package for display. Will only ever be available on Mattel creations through this crowdfund. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the individual pictures now. Here's the front of the Snake Lair. Like I said, it looks a lot more like what we were originally expecting. I mean, the other one version, it did have kind of like this little slope in here that was empty, but that's fine. I do like that they have the Battlebone skull right here. That's pretty awesome. Here's our telescoping snakehead. We have the, I can't remember what this is called now. My brain is just having a total brain fart. Stocks. Yeah, stocks. Snake detailing on the hair. Honestly, I think this looks like it should pop out. That would have been kind of cool if these snakes could be like pop out to attack or something. But there we got the drawbridge, we got some chains, we got some lighting. The thing is, you know, for $300 with HasLab, we get electronics too. It does not appear as if there's any electronics on this thing, which is a huge disappointment. This is where they're going to kind of lose it though, I think. Here's the inside, Lady Slither's throne room with their snake throne. We have a new ladder. They just didn't reuse the same one that was used for Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. Little area here. Is this big enough for a figure to fit, though? Because remember, when you put in Point Dread on top of Castle Grayskull, it wasn't tall enough for a figure to fit in there. The only one who can go there is Orko. Here's the real working elevator. Here's a floor with shackles. Here's a door. What looks like it should have a floor and does not. And the Iron Maiden. This would be the door and a gate, apparently. So you have both the gate and the drawbridge, so that's kind of cool. Computer system. Yeah, this looks pretty nice, actually. Here's a close-up of the front. Nice handle there. I think it looks pretty good. Here's the other side close up, and there's that harpoon cannon positioned down here to use. It said there were 4 positions for it, so the top instead of that thing, and then this. Although I'm kind of wondering, this obviously flips open to allow you to fit the figure in there. It looks kind of funky, and they definitely cheaped out on this because it's hollow on this side, which is a disappointment as well. Lady Slither in her snake zombie form. This is a badass looking figure. It's kind of too bad they didn't use some glow-in-the-dark stuff with her too, but she looks really nice. Well, she's not pretty, but you know what I mean. And here's her with the serpentine's tail. Which, by the way, I'd like to point out, that's not how a snake skeleton works. But I guess if you look at it like rotting flesh in between the different bones, then that works then in that regard. She's also got, looks like, a different skirt piece than what the original Lady Slither release had. She's going to be worth it. Here's our Pythonus, I think is what he called him. He's got Fangman's sword, although I'm not sure what that is, because I think that must be another staff or something. He's okay. We probably would have gotten him one way or the other. There's the 2 of them together. Oh, okay, so maybe they changed Fangman's sword by putting a different handle on it. Alright, well that makes sense. Here's that 2-headed steed. This is pretty awesome looking. Yeah, I want this. I really, really want this one. This is cool. Here's Lady Slither on it. Another picture of her on it. To a certain extent, it almost looks like it's got better articulation than Battle Cat and Panther had, to be honest with you. Here we see just a close-up of where the gun is with one of the Snakemen on it. Looks like there's enough of the Battlebone skull here to allow you to put a foot on there. Just more close-ups of that. Here's the chains that were underneath there holding a prisoner. Moss Man, who really should be able to escape out of those. This must be the secret exit from the hatchery. Well, let's go back one here. So that grate there comes off, and that's how you get here. And there's Kermit the Frog. Lady Slither's throne room, and she's man-spreading. We do have pegs down there, it looks like, for her feet. Oh, and she does come with a soft goods cape, it looks like. I didn't notice that earlier. Also looks like the venom is like just leaking out of the walls here. That's pretty cool. There we got our Moss Man in the stocks. I guess it makes sense that they're using him for this, since this is supposed to be Preternia, and he's the only character who's supposed to be from both Preternia and Modern Times. I do think the stocks are really cool, but you know, when we saw the other side of it and how hollow they are, that's a disappointment. For $300, they should have been able to make this solid. Here's the weapons rack, and I guess it comes with all these weapons, which surprisingly they all look brand new to this set. So I'm surprised they spent the money on that, to be honest with you. It also looks like a fairly solid piece here too, so that's cool. Here we have the Iron Maiden, and they're trying to put Extendor in it. There are some little spikes there on the back, not particularly big, and it looks like the figure will fit in there without ever being spiked, so it kind of defeats part of the purpose of the Iron Maiden in the first place, which is both a torture and killing device, historically. Okay, that area is big enough for a figure to fit in, as we see here. Here's the snake ladder. Hey, so we're playing snakes and ladders, huh? There's the trapdoor with Extendor, and it's dropping him into the snake trap, apparently. I wonder how... Are these solid or rubbery, is what I want to know right there. Oh, and there we've got... there we got the little floor that's supposed to be there. Hold on. Okay. For a moment there, I thought maybe it was taken from there. So yeah, that now we've got the floor in place there. That makes a little more sense. Looks like these are solid, but they do move so that you can actually trap the figure in the snakes. Here's the drawbridge down, and you can see the gate back there. I don't know how the gate opens. If it probably doesn't pull up, probably opens up upwards. Or not upwards, but, you know, inwards. Here we get a full view here with of the inside. And here's a full view of the outside. So yeah, this playset does look pretty cool. I think it turned out really nice. The question is, though, is this all worth $300? That is a very good question. Because now that we're back on the ordering page here, which again, it starts on the 1st, so I will definitely back it because I'm a pathetic psycho loser, and I want it. I especially want that Lady Slither and her steed. I wish the steed was the second offering here. You know what I mean? That would have been so much better. But that's probably why they put the steed as the last one, is to try to get more people to order to get to there. But 10,000 backers, that's a lot when you consider. We know that Origins Eternia playset did not meet all 3 tiers. So I don't know if this will or not either. The Eternian playset was one that people wanted because it existed previously. This thing didn't. Plus, Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain both sold for under $100 when they first came out. But that was a number of years ago. They have a new Castle Grayskull coming out, which I'll be talking about that in another video, where it's repainted to look, I guess, more mini-comic-ish. And it comes with the suit of armor, or the spacesuit figure, as well. And that one's going for $135 as an Amazon exclusive. And then the Fright Zone, I think, what was that? Was that $120, I think? So this is more than twice as much as any of those other ones. And while I guess it does look to me like it is going to be bigger than, it is taller than Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, like, I would say, god damn it. I would say from here to here is going with like how tall Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain is. This, honestly, probably with the additional of the mountaintop above the gate, would fully fill in for Snake Mountain. So $300 is a lot for this, and it is definitely priced to get everything unlocked. And that's where we might have the problem, right? Because this steed is probably the coolest unlock in here. And it should have been in number 2. Except I will, in all likelihood, order at least one. And I don't know, it's one of those things where, and this is the problem with having the early backer gift. Like HasLab, remember when HasLab did it, they gave it to everybody who backed, no matter when they did it, as long as they met a certain criteria. And that was for that Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. And then with the Eternian playset, they decided to let everybody get the King Grayskull, whoever ordered, after the fact. This is one of those ones where, honestly, it should have been more like if we meet this amount by this date, it unlocks maybe, I guess. Because, like I said, I will definitely end up doing one because I'm a psycho loser. There would be the potential, because this is cool enough, where I might want to get a couple of them. If everything unlocked, I would consider getting a second one. But by the time everything unlocks, she won't be available again, so I wouldn't get a second one. Like, there's no guarantee I would have gotten a second one anyway. I'm just saying that that's my train of thought on this. But overall, what do you guys think of this whole thing? Like I said, I do think it's too expensive. I think this probably should have been at best $250. Like, roughly twice as much of that new Castle Grayskull offering. Because you are getting the Castle playset and a figure if you order it early. Then the other unlocks, would cover the rest of it, I think. Because the animals usually go for about $40. Probably 50 now. Another figure, we're looking at 20. Well, 20. How much have they been charging? Yeah, I think they've still been charging 20. So right here, this is like $60 worth of extra here. She was sold as a deluxe. I think she was $40, wasn't she, when she first came out? The Lady Slither. So we got 60, 40. We got $100 here. So yeah, if you went with $250 and everything unlocked on here, that would basically equal the current Castle Grayskull doubled. And I think that'd be fine for the crowdfunding. Because I can't imagine, I don't know if like they're going to have 10,000 units of that Castle Grayskull that Amazon's selling for Mattel. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But that's all I got to say on this for right now. But if you enjoyed this information, or I should say, I guess maybe if I entertained you with this information, please feel free to snake slap that like button. And if you want to see more of my nonsense, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.